Hey, what is happening, everybody? I wanted to break down what I did in this flower bed here. I did kind of a little of an experiment. I did some things that are not necessarily an experiment for me, but might sound a little crazy to you. In this situation, I wanted to utilize this square footage by the trunk of this tree. Like, I wanted to create a flower bed in here. This is valuable real estate to increase curb appeal. I did not want to not use it. The problem was, if I start scratching around in the soil, I can't get an inch down without running into roots. So I had a couple options here. I could wait until the spring, put some topsoil down, mulch it, make some little pockets where I could just like winter sow some seeds. It wouldn't be winter sowing at that point, I would be doing it in the spring, but you know, put some zinnias in here and some marigolds and just really have a good time and make a cut flower garden. I could do that because remember, I can't get too far down. I could build a retaining wall. Can't afford to build a retaining wall, but that is the thing I could do, and I could bring in topsoil and I could do all that stuff and just bring the level up enough to where I can get some plants in some ground. I could do that, or I could spend the next 3 days digging holes and cutting roots and doing a bunch of detrimental stuff to this tree, which is a Brandywine maple, by the way. Not a huge fan. It's seedless, so that's something. Fall color is that of dried blood. So fall color wise, about every 3 years, every 4th year, I'll get some really pretty like orangish, purpley color, which is kind of nice, but for the most part, it just turns purple and it just, nobody can tell because I've got my neighbor's beautiful Norway maple across the street. This whole neighborhood just turns into this beautiful oak and maple wonderland, and here I've got, you know, the mud tree that just looks like mud. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but I didn't want to compromise the roots, and I didn't want it waking up all scraggly and goofy on me in the spring because I had compromised its root system. I don't really want to do any of that. My next option was, well, maybe I can use all of these arborist chips as a retaining wall. And so here's my theory, and this is what I did here. I brought in thousands, not thousands, hundreds, it felt like hundreds of wheelbarrows of arborist chips. Now you guys know how much I love arborist chips. I love them. Different sizes, different types of wood. There's little pieces of leaves in here, and this tree hasn't even lost its leaves yet. So we're gonna get more leaves on this also. I love that they get mushrooms on them, and I love arborist chips. I love arborist chips. I should write a song about arborist chips.
He backs up in a bucket truck, rugged good looks, yeah, that's my luck. Wood chips crash in a pile of gold. He smells like pine, looks like a hobo. Safety glasses, high-vis vest, boots with spurs, gas station mess. I roll my eyes, but I tap my toe. That chip drop man's got mulch mojo. Yeah!
I bring in all of these arborist chips. I build a basin. I bring in about the amount of arborist chips that I'm going to bring in. And then I want to plant this rose, this orange glow knockout. I want to plant it right here. So I push all the mulch around, I push it all back, and I get down to the soil level. I wash the roots. Then I splay those roots out, right? So I lower my horizontal profile, but I increase my lateral profile of the roots, right? So I'm lowering the profile. So instead of planting something this deep into the ground, I only have to do this. So I splay them out, and then I add soil to the top of them, right? So I have my soil, my original soil, roots of the knockout rose, more soil, some arborist chips, and I just kind of lightly compress that. That was 2.5 weeks ago. You can't move this thing. It's in there pretty good. So that's the basic technique, and it's no dig. I don't have to dig here. I've done that over there in the neighbor's yard when I was building his hosta bed, and I don't even think I talked to you guys about that at all. I washed all the roots because I didn't want to have to call dig right, and I did a no dig, for all intents and purposes, I did a no dig flower bed over there on that side of his house. It was all hosta beds. And I've done that before. That wasn't anything exciting for me. Where this is different is because I'm using arborist chips to retain the soil that I'm adding. Slow that soil down from moving. And it will work. It will work. I don't know to what degree it will work, but it will work. I don't know how much of that soil I'm going to lose, but man, I can't imagine it's going to be a whole lot. That's what we did. I did everything normal. I did beneficial fungus, beneficial bacteria from Dr. Earth Pure Gold, the all-purpose, which is alfalfa-based. I like that. Doesn't smell like a turkey yard. I put some of that down, and then I use 2-year fertilizer tablets, so I'm not going to have to worry about any of the nitrogen tie-up that concerns some people. It doesn't really concern me. I use 2-year fertilizer tablets. It doesn't concern me. I did 8 roses, 1, 2, 3, 4 Luna hardy hibiscus that I transplanted. That's why they look so rough, is they've just had a rough go. But even if only half of it comes back, if I lose, like say 50% of this dies back, I'm only going to have to wait 1 more year before it looks like it did back there. Because 2 years of a Luna hardy hibiscus is all Luna hardy hibiscus needs to show off. 2 years. 2 years in the ground, you're good to go. And then white wedding panicle hydrangeas in between some of the roses. Some transplanted echinacea, a hodgepodge, if you will, of echinacea that I pulled out of my backyard, and only the good Lord knows what varieties they are. Because at some point last year, I looked at the amount of purple coneflower I had and all different other varieties of echinacea, and I just thought to myself, there's no reason any human being should have this much echinacea. I need an intervention. There's way too many echinacea. But that's kind of my go-to. I love that. In this situation, if I don't want to dig, if I can't dig too close to the tree, I've done this over and over and over again in people's backyards underneath big oak trees that is just a muddy mess for the dogs to mess around in, and they can't get any grass to grow. We want to put a flower bed around it. This is usually what I ended up doing, but it was mostly with smaller perennials. Wash the roots, plant a 1 gallon panicle hydrangea or a 2 gallon panicle hydrangea, plant some hostas, plant some things in there, and then eventually they just kind of grow up and they do really well if the people keep stuff watered. Which every time I've done this, and I go back maybe to do a little touch up or do an irrigation repair or something like that, the flower beds always look great. I'm very surprised sometimes that if you can create an outdoor space for people who have never been in their backyard, and then all of a sudden you do this and they're in their backyard having coffee every morning together. They're eating breakfast out there. They're aerating and overseeding, because they realize that you help show them the potential of their backyard, and now they're going to take it to the next step. And I think that's a lot of an overlooked advantage to what I did back in the day, and I think that was lost on a lot of young guys because they just think of it as manual labor. I just go and I work my fingers to the bone every day and I come back, but they didn't really get that sense of accomplishment. Those are the people that were really never passionate about what we did. But if you start thinking about it and you're just like, wow, we changed. I mean, not romanticizing it too much. I mean, obviously I'm a realist. I get that I'm not changing people's lives, but I in some sense was changing how they lived life, if that made sense. just changed their daily routines a little bit. And they'd come home after work and they would go together. This couple would go out in their backyard and they just mess around in the backyard. Never done that before. Mostly they spend their day cleaning their dog's paws because it walked in some mud or something, or mopping the floor in the John Deere room because the dog slipped and slid through the dog door. Yeah, cool stuff. You can use this technique for a lot of different ways. Maybe I want to do a no dig flower bed over here because I don't want to do a dig. I don't want to call a locate to figure out where all the wires are and everything. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to wait the week or up to 2 weeks. Then we get out there and do it, and then no one calls me and tells me they're out there, and then one day the homeowner's like, did you put these flags out? And I'm like, no, that was probably a locate. They were supposed to call. I don't have to deal with any of that. I just wash the roots, and I'm pulling off the property in 2 days. I don't have to do any of that. But I haven't dug a hole. A shovel has not gone in the ground. Do this situation, but I want to be clear, this is not the preferred method. In this situation, it's the preferred method for me. But if I'm in my flower bed, the only time I'd really do that is if maybe I had let's just use these two. I have a white wedding on one side, I got a panicle hydrangea on the other, or a panicle hydrangea over here, and I've got a Luna Hotter hibiscus over here. And they just haven't grown in well enough. So I've got like this foot by foot. I've got a square foot right there in the middle where I want to put something because it's a full sun area. And the only thing that's growing right now is weeds because sun is hitting the mulch layer. And so I'm going to put a Siberian iris in there, right? Or a Shalom daylily or something like that. Just give me a little something extra to fill that space. I might wash the roots so I don't have to dig a hole and destroy the roots of all my perennials and all the other stuff that are around it. I might wash the roots, splay them, move the mulch back, splay them out, throw it down there, put some more soil on it, then move my mulch back over and maybe a fresh layer of mulch. That might be something I'd do. I've used this technique plenty. Works really good. I'm very excited to see how this ends up going. I'm really disappointed that I haven't seen any stinkhorn mushrooms in this new layer of mulch. Maybe I didn't get to it early enough, but that's my favorite mushroom, the stinkhorn mushroom. You guys know the one I'm talking about, the stinkhorn, the walrus of mushrooms, if you will. Yeah, that's the one. Guys, I really appreciate you entertaining this idea. Ask me any questions you want to in the comments. Ask me any concerns you might have in the comments also, because I'm kind of running through my head like what would happen. Maybe the soil is going to wash out, but I've got enough of a buffer to where that soil is not going to be able to go very many places really. The only thing that worries me is maybe on the downhill slope. There might also be some sloughing as it kind of breaks down. It might slough a little bit out, but we'll see. We'll see. You guys will be here in the spring, and if I've got to add some more mulch to it, I've got to add some more mulch to it. If it ends up getting too big, it's less mowing for me. There you go. All right. I appreciate you stopping by, guys. My name's Stuart Moore. This is All Landscape Rescue. Thank you very much for letting me in your home to talk about plants. Oh. I gotta start working out again. My butt is too bony.